Tell me if this sounds familiar. Your friend just got their third tattoo. Your coworker is showing off a brand new sleeve. Your Instagram feed feels like a gallery of fresh ink. And meanwhile, you're sitting there with completely blank skin. And somehow, people think you're the weird one. In a world where tattoos have become normal, choosing not to get one almost feels abnormal. But here's the twist, almost nobody talks about the psychology of people who never get tattoos. And it's far more complex than most people realize. Over 46% of millennials have at least one tattoo. That's nearly half a generation walking around with permanent ink. Yet while everyone analyzes why people get tattoos, almost nobody asks why some people don't. One of the biggest reasons isn't fear. It's how people relate to time itself. Psychologists call this future self-continuity. The ability to imagine yourself as the same person years from now. Some people struggle with that connection. To them, getting a tattoo feels like making a permanent decision for a future version of themselves who feels like a stranger. It's not indecision. It's future-focused thinking. Research shows personalities and values can change dramatically over time. And people without tattoos tend to be very good at imagining future regret before it happens. But that's only part of it. Many tattoo-free individuals also have what psychologists call a fluid identity orientation. They see themselves as constantly evolving, unfinished, adaptable. A tattoo, to them, feels like freezing an identity they don't believe is meant to stay still. But here's where it gets complicated. Sometimes this openness reflects growth. And sometimes, it hides a fear of commitment or self-definition. The line between staying open and avoiding identity can be surprisingly thin. Social perception also plays a role. Even though tattoos are more mainstream than ever, many people without them are highly aware of how they're perceived, professionally and socially. Psychologists call this impression management, a strategic awareness of how choices affect reputation. For them, permanent body art can feel like giving up control over how they might be seen in the future. And then there's a quieter, rarely discussed reason, philosophy. Some people view unmarked skin as a conscious choice, almost like minimalism. They believe identity exists internally, not through symbols. They don't need external reminders to remember who they are or what they value. To them, meaning doesn't require a medium. Some of the most reflective people experience depth without needing to etch it into their skin. We've built a cultural narrative that tattoos equal meaning. But meaning doesn't depend on ink. The absence of a tattoo doesn't mean the absence of identity, attachment, or depth. It simply means those things live internally. In the end, the psychology of people who never get tattoos isn't boring or simple. It's about time perception, identity fluidity, social awareness, and personal philosophy. And maybe that's the real takeaway. Sometimes the absence of a choice reveals just as much about human psychology as the choice itself. Whether you're covered in ink or completely blank, what matters most isn't what you choose. It's whether you choose consciously, authentically, and for yourself.